Hi, and welcome to DS Tech Mirror. This channel is dedicated to deliver content related to SharePoint online customizations. Today, we are going to explore on PnP Modern Search. In order to customize SharePoint search in SharePoint Online, we need the help of SharePoint Framework in order to build a search API. Otherwise, we can leverage any custom code developed and tested and available freely in Patterns and Practices community. So, today we are going to speak and explore more on one such kind of search solution freely available in this community. That is PnP Modern Search Webparts. Let's get started. You can search in the Google for PnP Search Webpart, and from there you can select Introduction to PnP Modern Search v4, which directly leads you to a GitHub community. When you click on this link, you will have the documentation for this PnP Modern Search. And the documentation will provide you a brief note on the introduction and how to install, and there are certain scenario-based tutorials also provided in this documentation, which is very useful for us. I do recommend you to go through the introduction and the installation in order to get a basic understanding of what PnP Modern Search provides us. Okay, now in order to install PnP Modern Search, let's go to the installation section, and there from the first point itself you will have a link to the GitHub where there is the repository for this solution. So in the releases you can find this has so many releases. Now we will be downloading the latest version. So this is the latest version which is recently updated also, and you can find the fixes made, what kinds of fixes are made, and you can find the features, what new features are there in each, key contributors, and again we have the assets. Either directly you can download the SPPKG package from here and upload it in your site. And if you are an advanced SharePoint developer, then you can download the SharePoint code from here and then customize the code and build according to your needs from this base code. I have downloaded the source code here. And here you will be able to see search extensibility and search paths also. Search extensibility will be quite useful if you have a thought of extending the features provided by the PnP community through this solution. So using the extensibility solution, you will be able to customize the solution a bit more. Okay, right now we will be checking about this search web part. So in this search part, first when you download it, this node modules will not be there. By now you will be knowing how to include this node module through your Visual Code. You have to run npm install, right? Yes, let's view this in the Visual Studio. This is the code, and the node modules were installed when I ran npm install. It took a while, but all the dependencies are installed over here. And the dependencies are got from the package-log.json. So what all dependencies that need to be included was included from here. The one important thing that we can get from the content, from the description over here, is that this particular modern search, PnP Modern Search, is updated to SPFX version 1.12.1. Suppose if you're having a lower version compared to this version, on including the node modules using npm install, you will not face any problem. But when you do a gulp serve, you will face an error like mismatch in the versions. And it will not allow you to go ahead because the version with which the solution is having is different from the version that your environment is having. So you have to match it accordingly. Otherwise, the solution will not be useful for your environment. Now moving on to the solution, we have, let's explore what we have over here. We have a library folder where you can see kind of a common files over here like base web parts, component types, and constants. We will come to it later. We have certain components over here. So you can see that the structure is quite different. In the library folder, you have components. Mostly, if you are a beginner or an intermediate developer, you can find the components present inside your web parts folder, right? Like inside your source folder, you will be having all such kinds of components. But here, in source also you have a component. In library also you have certain components over here. You have to understand the structure with which this particular solution was provided. It has certain components over here. It has certain data sources like Microsoft Search data source, SharePoint Search data source, and then you have certain helper files. We can understand the helper files which will be included, like utility files that we have in our code. And there are layouts over here. Okay, we have models, we have providers, we have services. It is easily understandable that we have search service, we have dynamic data service, template service, token service, yes. And in the web path section, we have 4 different web paths over here. We have a search box web path, search filter web path, search results, and search verticals. So this is the structure. I have not gone inside the source web path yet. Now inside the source, this is the structure. So all these are present in this, all these are provided to you in this solution. Now I have run gulp serve. You can see over here my gulp serve is running, and I have made this available in my SharePoint workbench. Let me open this SharePoint workbench again. This is the local workbench, but I don't want to use the local workbench. This is my SharePoint workbench. Now, let me add PnP related webparts one by one. So we have 4 webparts as we saw in the code, and now we are going to include it one by one, and I will show you how we can configure them in order to make them work synchronously and provide you a modern search experience. So I have included search box first. Now I'm going to include search filter, PnP search results, and there is something called search verticals. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to include search verticals above the search box. Okay, these are the web paths provided by PnP Modern Search, and these are the basic configurations when you add them onto your page. Now one by one we will be checking out their configurations. So here each web path will be having this edit web path properties, and in the edit web path properties you can see in the edit pane it is a 2-page edit pane. And here you have a collapsible search vertical configuration, and here when you click on the configure verticals, which is called this particular sections, these are kind of tabs, and this documentation, here you have a symbol like external and it is navigating us to the documentation. Okay, In order to configure verticals, click onto the configure verticals button and you can see the configurations that is readily available over here. One was a SharePoint and the logo was SharePoint logo. You can see a small icon over here. Okay, and you have a Microsoft Graph and you have an Azure API management. These are icons and documentation. Here you can see when it is configured as a hyperlink, this particular text box was enabled, like you can see over here. These two text boxes got enabled and here an external link was provided, and there is a feature to allow you to open it into a new tab or use the custom tab. Okay, fine. I'm going to leave it to the basics right now. In the next, we are having this about information, and you have the link again to the documentation. And this is an interesting section over here, import or export settings. If you want to customize these settings, you can any properties that we have seen over here or add or include any properties, you can do it from here. So if I click edit properties, you can see over here the raw code, and here you can do some editing and you can apply it from here, or you can have a readily available code elsewhere and you can import it over here also. Right now I'm leaving it to the basics. So this is about the verticals, and the webpart title of here, it is editable. Let me rename it to PnP verticals. Next, we'll move on to search filters. And in the search filters, next we will move on to the search box. In the search box, you can see over here, it has a placeholder text. Right now, it says enter your search items. This is not displayed over here. It is coming from the code behind. It is not configured. It is coming from the code behind. And here, there is a provision for you to send the query to a new page. So you can have this search box elsewhere in a different page, and you can send that query to this page, to any other custom page also. So when you click it on, it is providing you the information like query input transformation template. You have to provide an input query template over here, and the page URL to which it has to navigate, and the opening behavior of that page, and the method, whether it has to send the extra information as a URL fragment or query string parameter. Now let me leave it to default. Next, here there is a provision for query suggestions. These are the basic text box, basic requirements of any customer or a client or any business, that if you click onto the search, you need suggestions. So if you want any query suggestions, then you can switch this toggle button to on. There are certain third-party suggestion providers and you can configure it, or you can have a custom suggestion provider and configure it to this using this button. And here you can either use this SharePoint static search suggestions over here, or you can customize it on your own. How can you do it? In the last page, you have this extensibility option. So using extensibility libraries, you will be able to configure. In a while, I'll be telling you like how you can do this, but not in detail, because this video is a brief explanation about the basic configuration of PnP Search, Modern Search. In further videos, we will be seeing in detail how to customize each and every component, or you can say each and every web parts provided to us by the SharePoint Patterns and Practices community. Going back to our search box, to the third page of properties, here there is the option of available connections. Now, there might be a requirement where our search box should be already having the value, or it should hold the value of some other, say, query parameter or user's input. So, any kind of connections needed for a search. So, for that, you can use a dynamic data source as input on and connect to a source. Your source can be a page environment. Either, for example, if you're having a custom list box or a custom web part, and that web part is providing an information to this search box through dynamic variables, that can also be done through customization. Okay, so page environment, or you want to get the value directly from search filters or search results or search verticals. This also is possible. If you click page environment, the page environment's related properties are provided, whether it should be a site properties or user input. It use current user information. Maybe you're searching for people and you want to use the current logged in users information. You can do that. And you can use a query string. If you use a query string, it means that you are customizing the global search of this SharePoint. And when you enter the information and search, this custom search page is resulted. And it is getting the value of the search keyword from the search query, from the query string, and providing you the results. That is also possible from your or a simple search. Simple search is nothing but the user input search. I am going to provide a simple search over here. Next, as we covered this, it is the extensibility options, and here import and export settings, you can change the settings, the previous settings from here. Yes. Next, we will move on to the search filters. So in search filters, you can see use the data from these webparts. In any kind of search, the search filter and search results will be tightly coupled. They will be tightly connected so that any kind of search, any kind of filter made by the user will be reflected in the search results, and only those search results, the data, metadata available from the search results can be available in the search filters. So they are like a two-way communication between these two web paths. So they are tightly coupled. And using the data, so in this option, I have to select search results web part over here. So this filter, search filter, will understand from where it has to get the metadata to provide as filters from. And the next filter section, you have customized filters, and there is another and an or operator over here, the operator to use between filters. Okay, by default or is selected. Let's see. On editing, we have the provision to provide the filters. Right now, I will not be able to provide anything. I think you would have guessed by now why. As I told you, these filter options will come from the search results. So it is only logical that before going and configuring search filter, I have to configure search results web part. So leave this web part as of now. Let's move on to search results web part. So from the search results web part, on the configuration, you can see the available data sources. So by default, they provide us with two data sources, but we can select only one for one results web part. And another information, another additional tip is that you can have multiple search results web part onto your page. But how to toggle between them, how to show what web part on what action, that we will be seeing in the upcoming videos. But it is possible to have multiple search results web part in the single page. Now I'm selecting SharePoint Search, and you can see as I selected SharePoint Search, there is some kind of result reflection over here. I have a Webpart title over here, I have 0 results over here. Why? Because I've not configured it yet. Now we have a layout slot, edit layout slot. Before going to this layout slot, let me configure this one. It is providing us with a simple query text and query template. This we will be familiar with because we have dealt with many such kinds of query templates and experiences in our on-premise and online also. Right. So this is familiar. I'm not going to go deep into it. And here, result source ID, it provides us the options to select from. Local SharePoint results, or you want to search only people. There is local people results, video results. You can categorize your search. You can particularize your search according to your need. Right now, let me select documents. And it provides me with 331 results. I'm good with the results right now because I need to have some kind of data for me to show it on a demo, right? Okay, fine. And again, we have the sort order. What is the sort order? How the results need to be sorted. Now, when I click onto this select field, the fields are being fetched from the search results. And how I need it to be sorted, whether by name or whether by author, I can enter it over here. Right, and I have an additional refinement filters. So I can refine this search according to the requirement, whether if I need only DOCX kind of documents to be visible, or only PDFs or PPTs, or if I want everything else except one kind of document, I can do that here. And we have language of search request. I can use any kind of language. Even based on the logged in user, I can toggle this language. So that all, with the help of little customizations, we can do this. So there are multiple options over here. We have enable localizations also. Right now, I'm going to leave this to default, and going below, you see I have pagination over here. The pagination and number of items on a page, all kinds of setting can be done from this paging options. And the navigation, if I want to have the previous and buttons always available, I can enable and disable, toggle the view mode of these buttons, navigation buttons from here. In the next properties, you can see by default my results are showing in a card view. If I need it in a details list, in a list view, I can toggle, I can select what kind of view I want. If I'm not happy with the existing view, I can even do a custom view. In the custom view, basically it provides a basic layout where you can modify it according to your business requirement. You can modify, actually this is handlebar.js. You can modify and you can add your own logic over here in order to view and in order to display the results which is being fetched. Right now I'm going to go with the cards view. I'm leaving other things to the default, and here let me show you. There is something called manage card fields. This is available when I select only cards field. So under each layout, that layout properties will be visible over here. So under cards layout, I'm able to manage card fields. So all the information which are showing on the card, I can see it over here. If I do not want any kind of information, I can remove it from here, delete the row. Or if I want a different field instead of title, I want something else to be visible, then I can do it from here. This is possible from here. And you can see all the values, the metadata values are fetched from @slots.title. This is because each and every card is taken as a slot, and I will show you where you can include and exclude these metadata. Here in the first page, you can see over here layout slots. Edit the layout slot. From here, you can customize the slots. The title which we have seen over there, it is coming from here only, slot field. So it is like @slot.title. This will refer to the actual metadata, which is a crawl property, you can say, and these are the slot name. You can modify the name. You can keep a user-friendly name also for this slot name. Fine. Let me go resume back over here. And prefer number of cards, you can toggle, you can increase the amount of cards that has to show on your page. Next, from the available connections, we have seen such available connections in the search box configuration. Similarly, here you have some available connections. My connection for this SharePoint search results is with the search box and with the search filter. So, with the search box, with the dynamic value, if I have to select the search box from here. So using dynamic value for input query text, I'm using dynamic value and I'm using search box. And in the search box, I need search query. And there is a provision to use default value also. So by default, when there is no input query appearing in your search box, what default value it should take, or what default input query text it has to take and filter the results. You can provide star, or you can provide a specific current user documents, anything according to your business rules. And next, we are connecting to the filters webpart, and the filter webpart available on this page is search filters webpart. Another tip is that there can be only one search filters webpart on your page. You cannot have multiple search filters, but you can have multiple search results webpart, but not search filter webpart. And connecting to the verticals. Let me, show in detail about this feature. Right now, I'm not connecting it to the vertical, but I can detail out like how this can be very much useful for any kind of requirement in the upcoming videos. Again, in the last page, we have the information, about information, and a documentation link, and we have extensibility configuration over here. You can extend the features for search webparts from here, and you can modify the properties from here. This import export properties, this particular feature will not be present in the previous versions of this modern search solution provided by the PnP. This is available in this version 4.3.0. Now, since this configuration is complete, we are moving back to search filter, and in the search filter, now if I edit this customized filters, you can see, before that, I think I have to do it again. Yes. Yes. Now you can see you have a display name, you have a filter field, and number of values. this is not available in the previous versions of the solution. This is something newly included in this version. This is the number of values that has to appear as options in the filter. By default, it will take all the options. If you provide any number, it will provide those many options. And you have filter type over here that will be enabled. Now it is empty. That will get enabled once if I fill the value. And here we have expand by default, show count, multiple values. If you want to filter multiple values under the same department, like you have to select multiple department, then you can include this option in order to enable the component to allow you to select multiple values. Let me select. First you have to, from the filter field, first you have to select what kind of field you want. By default, let me go with the file type. Okay, first let me go with the file type, and here let me give a proper name, type of document, and I'm going to leave it blank now. And template is the options like how you want this filter to be rendered, either as a checkbox or a combo box, because date range will not apply for this file type. So I'm going for a checkbox, and I want it to be expanded by default, and I want it to show count and multiple select. I'm going to select all the options for you to see the features clearly. Operator between the values, whether if multiple items are selected under the same field, whether it should be an AND selection or selection. Obviously, for file type, I need OR. And how the option should be sorted, I'm leaving it for the defaults. Let me add this. And as I add it, you can see over here. And since I selected show count, I can see there are 10 documents and 174 docx files and so on. Okay. In the next, similar to the layout which we saw in search results, in search filter also there are available layouts. Whether I can make it a vertical layout, horizontal layout. And right now you will not be able to see the difference between vertical and horizontal. Let me add another filter. Now I'm adding it on the created date filter, and this will be my date range. And as I told you, this gets enabled after selecting it. You have a two arrow and you have a single arrow. This means the single arrow means it is a static filter. The date ranges are a static filter, and the double arrow means it is a refiner because it gets the value from the search. So there is a two-way communication between the search filter and search webpart over here, search results webpart. So in a date filter, it is only a single way of communication. So that's what it is depicting. Okay, now it is in the horizontal layout. If I do it in a vertical layout, you can see it over here. Okay, now the panel layout. So you can see it from here. There is a show filters icon. On clicking of that, I have this panel appearing over here. And by default, the arrangement, alignment of these filters are vertical inside a panel layout. Okay, and again, similar to the search results webpart, here you have a debug option. So in the debug options, you will be able to view what kind of results are coming from your search results webpart. So it will be useful if you have customized certain features inside your filter and search results, and you are able to find from here, from from the screen whether you are able to fetch these values or not. And in the custom, you can customize the appearance of these filters. And again, the code is handlebar.js. You can customize it using it. Or you can include an external template file over here. For now, I will leave it to horizontal. And here, prefer number of filters per row. You can increment it up to 6 or you can decrement it. Next, again, you have this edit properties. Here, the only thing we are not having this extensibility feature, because if you want to extend the filters web part also, you have to extend it through search results. There is only one gate, you can say it as only one way to extend either search filter web part or search results web part, and that is to include it from search results over here. Now let me preview it. This is the preview of the PnP Modern Search webpart. So here we have search vertical, search box, search filter and search results webparts. Let me do a simple search. I'm going to search for doc. Okay, I'm going to search for doc. You can see the results which are present over here, and let me enter and do an enter. Let me do a specific search. Again, there is some kind of error. Let me edit it. Let me check what kind of error it is. Let me change this result source ID option from here. From documents, I have changed it to local search, local SharePoint results. And now I'm able to see 83,000 plus items over here for an all view, for a default view. And you can see n number of types, file types are visible over here. So I can do a demo on this also. I can show you how I can modify this. Let me keep it as 10 for now and save it. Now you can see over here, only 10 options are available over here. Let's play around with the search. I'm going to go to the preview mode, and you can see over here we have a vertical, we have search box, we have filter web part, and we have search results web part. So let me enter some kind of text. I'm searching for demo. I have 48 results for demo. That's good. And from here, you can see the results. The filter results have been changed. It was something else before, but now it has been changed. So that is why it is a refiner, and it communicates to and fro from the search results web part. It picks up the metadata values, the filter values from the results, and provides you as a filter. Also, when you filter it over here, it will share the results back to the search results web part. Let us filter it over here. I'm going to select ASPX, doc, and PPT files. So I need to have 4 items. And let me click apply. Yes, I have 5 items, sorry. I have 5 results for them. And I can use the date filter. Let's select May 3. Okay, May 3, 2020. If I select May, and if I select between 30 and again May 4th. One kind of settings that we have missed over here. This is an OR operation. I have two filters over here and there is an OR operation between these filters. So that is why the count is increasing. So on click of AND, selecting AND, yes, the filters have been reset. That is expected. I'm going to select again doc, PDF, okay, PPT, and apply. I have 5 results, and from here I'll be selecting May 3. May 3, 2020. Now on selecting the on date, from date I have 2 results. Let me select the to date as May 3rd. Okay, it is not allowing me to select the same date. Okay, May 4th. 1. So our results, our search results have been refined according to the filters, and the operator that we have used between the filters is AND. Yes. You can see how simple it is to deploy the open source solution and utilize it according to our business requirements. This is a simple search, and it is all the complex features are included as property configurations for you to simply configure it and use it according to your needs. If you want more features, you can customize it. The PnP practices solution open source code also provides you ability to customize and extend the existing solution and to include all your business requirements and to make your code function as per your need. And one more thing that we have missed was search verticals. So this search vertical either behaves like a tab, or you can include links over here so that it will provide you basic links. Like for example, certain organizations can have guidelines link, so that they can quick guidelines link, they can click on that and they can search for the guidelines. So any kind of purpose you can use for any, either as a tab or as a external link. And how you connect this vertical with search results web part, let me show it from here. On the third page, you have this over here. On selecting the vertical, connecting to the vertical, you can use this option. One vertical we have, so you can have any number of verticals also on the single page. And here there are 2 tabs. So on search, I'm selecting SharePoint. So what does this mean? Let me go to the preview mode and show you. So on the SharePoint tab selected, I'm able to view this search web part. On clicking on Microsoft Graph, I'm not able to view it. So I have configured this search results web part for this tab. You can have multiple tabs, you can have multiple search web parts, and you can configure each search web part to a tab, and you can toggle it in order to use it. One quick example or a scenario or a tip is that you can have multiple departments search. So you can make one tab as a department 1, department 2, and in your search results in the query template, you can include that department query, like search all the documents belonging to that query, and based on different tabs, you can toggle and view the results of different departments. So that is one kind of a real-time scenario that can be employed using this vertical. That's all guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. You got full knowledge of how to configure and use the PnP Modern Search Webparts. There are more customizations that we can do to this PnP Modern Search web part. We will be exploring each and everything in the upcoming videos. And so stay tuned. Please feel free to connect with us through Gmail, through Facebook. We have a Facebook group where we can collaborate on technical aspects. And you can freely connect with me on my Twitter account. And please don't forget to like this video if you really like the content that we are presenting, and please share and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, stay tuned. Much love, keep learning.